Relationship advice. Today I messed up by sleeping with a married woman. Obligatory, not today. However, enough time has passed, and with anonymity, I should be able to tell this and remain unharmed. Around 12 years ago, I'd stopped in my local for a pint or two, to drown my sorrows. It was a great little place, typically frequented by the local uni students. Great music, good views and cheap beers. What more could a single man ask for? Halfway through Guinness number 2, I lock eyes with a lass across the way from me. She's there with another guy, turns out to be a work colleague, and she gives me a beautiful smile. Smile back, shyness kicks in and I find myself very invested in finding the bottom of my glass. I'm not the sort of outgoing guy who excels in these situations. About 20 minutes later, colleague leaves and Alice comes over to me. This has never happened before, so I'm in a mixed state of smug and shock. But, played it cool, tried to. Somehow my clueless, shy guy gambit really comes through and after a few hours, we end up on a train back to Alice's house. After a quick train ride, which seemed to take absolutely forever, as Alice made her future intentions very clear, Big Head was fully disengaged. Little Head is doing all of the thinking right now, so I'm not paying much attention to my surroundings at this point. I'm more interested in the goings-on, obviously. The next morning when I'm slightly more alert, I can't help but notice photos of a man around the house. Wedding photos, holiday photos, and one that really stands out, as the guy is in camouflage, with a somewhat sandy background. Notice the big gun and the chest rig. This isn't a holiday snap. Damn. Alice, who the hell is this? That's John, he's not around these days. I try to press a little more, but Alice clearly doesn't want to talk about it. She just keeps insisting he's not around. Okay, either separated or dead. Alice doesn't want to talk about it, I'm not going to press the issue. No wedding ring or anything, so I guess I'm okay here. We keep seeing each other for 4 months and things are freaking great. I feel like the luckiest guy in the world. Finally, things are going my way. Until Alice drops the bombshell. John is coming back soon. Wait, what? What do you mean coming back? He's been in Afghanistan with the Royal Marines, but his rotation is nearly done. Panic mode engaged. I've spent the last 4 months sleeping with a Marine's wife. Alice tries to ensure me that John is perfectly fine with these arrangements, and isn't going to care that I was planning a future with his wife. Quickly out the door, saying my goodbye and, don't freaking tell him. I'm going back to my single bedroom apartment, on my own, to hide under the bed for the next 12 to 18 months. Damn. I found myself moving out of the area after 2 months. Fortunately, I never saw Alice or John, so my head remains firmly attached to my shoulders. Now for the top comments. I once saw a bumper sticker that read, "My girlfriend's husband fights for your freedom. Maybe you need to get one as well?" Personally, there was no better feeling than meeting my month-old son after my 14-month deployment. My condolences. Or, congratulations? Congratudolences. As someone who grew up in the Fort Bragg area, this bumper sticker has a whole lot of truth to it. Go to the NCO Club, which allows civilians, and you'll see for yourself. I feel bad for a lot of these enlisted men. I was hitting it off with a girl at a bar once. Things are going pretty good, when she mentions her husband was deployed. I noped out of there real quick. I mean, I wanted to get laid, but I'm not going to knowingly sleep with a married girl. Wife of a Marine here, you'd be shook nasty if you knew how many wives I meet. I don't live on base, but I do go to the events a few times a year, that love to open a bottle the second their boyfriend/husband walked away, and just start bragging to other wives left and right about who they've been sleeping with behind their husbands' backs. A lot of their husbands are just as bad, but to summarize, I'll never get ready for the ball in anyone else's hotel room again, after basically being cornered and told about how easy it is to cheat for 2 hours, by someone I definitely did not want to picture naked. When I lived on base, military brat, I was surprised to learn by my parents how many of them were either swingers or saw other people when the husbands were deployed. A lot of new ones would get married quickly, move on to base, then get deployed, trying to knock most of them up before they left. I also have found old photos from my dad's deployment of not clothed women around a bunch of them. I'm not in the military life personally, but I wonder if it's just something that goes unsaid if they're gone for so long at a time. Now for the second story. Wife of 12 years cheated while I was deployed, told me 4 years later. I'll try to keep this as short as I can. but I'm completely lost right now. 31 male and 31 female. Married for 8 years and together for 12. Lived in 5 states and traveled to 20 plus countries together. Decent amount of that time was spent apart, till to 3 years, for my various trainings and deployments, but we sent letters and emails to each other throughout. It wasn't easy, but we did our best and got through it. I got out of the military late 2016 and we started a life together again in a new city. We were doing well and in 2019 she asked to try an open relationship, and we started working with a marriage therapist to help us through it. It took me a lot of self-learning and intense focus to get over the jealousy aspect, but it was balanced out by my attraction to the concept of it. I saw 2 people during our open relationship and she saw between 8 to 10. I quickly learned how easy it is to be a woman on dating apps. Overall, it actually wasn't as hard to maintain as I expected. We read a lot about it, listened to tons of podcasts. We were well prepared and seemingly transparent. We learned a tremendous amount about ourselves and each other, though I don't think I could maintain it long term. It was a lot of work. When COVID came around, we put it on pause basically. We never really sat down and said it was officially over, but we decided it was a bad idea to continue, for health and safety purposes. Last weekend, she told me we needed to talk. She confessed to me that 4 years ago, when I was deployed in the military and the month before I came home, she slept with a guy she used to work with in 2012. Just one time, but never told me until last week. This was well before we had even entertained the open agreement. Moreover, when she flew to a different state last month to visit some friends, she apparently ended hooking up with a guy friend of hers 2 times while away. She also confessed this to me last weekend along with the 2016 cheating. When she got back, initially, she just said she hung out with some old guy friends, no mention of her hookups. In our open situation, she had slept with 3 or 4 guys, but again that was during our mutual, transparent agreement. I understand this might be viewed in a certain light given our open/pseudo-open 6-month relationship, but I'm less focused on that and more focused on her cheating on me when we were 1,000,000% monogamous, and totally lying to me about what she did last month while traveling. I feel disrespected, sad, enraged. We both have worked hard for this relationship, shared incredible experiences, and have done some truly amazing life building together. So the thought of ending it is a nightmare. I asked her to leave for a week, got my own therapist, in addition to our couples, and I made the decision to hire a divorce attorney since we have several assets needing a professional's attention. I feel like I can't ever trust her again, so what is the point of being with her? I also told her I think she might have some form of S-addiction, between the open thing and the cheating. I talked to her for the first time in a week today and she made me feel like I was overreacting. She apologized profusely and asked to start over again. She said, "I will not do any work, all of the trust building will be on her." She wants a restart and swears there will be no open relationship, no cheating, no lying, no cover-ups. She said we can recover better than ever. She said she waited so long to tell me, because she was afraid of losing me and got trapped in her lies. She said she hooks up with other guys to feel like people like her, and want to give her attention. She gains a feeling of self-worth from it, because that is something she struggles with. I told her I retained a divorce attorney and she pleaded to do a separation for a while and thinks I was overreacting with my retaining a divorce attorney. I suffered a lot of trauma growing up, I just want to protect myself, my feelings, and my future, no matter how hard it might be to end something I've enjoyed so much. Trust is so huge to me. I can't ever look at her the same again. Am I overreacting or the crazy one here? We've been through so much together. I can't tell up from down anymore. She seems bewildered on why I was being so deadly serious about the betrayal and how, after everything I've put into keeping us together, long distance, combat deployments, open relationship, all the moves, etc., there was no second chance for her. Now for the top advice. You are not overreacting. Love isn't the only thing that keeps the relationship alive, trust is just as important. She broke it, and now you can never see her as someone who you love, but someone who betrayed you. Divorce her and move on. It won't be easy, but it never is, I guess. Thanks for the assurance. I told her I also struggled when we were long distance or I was deployed, and I had several occasions where I could have broken trust, but I never did. Ever. She is at fault. She betrayed me and it is a one-way street. She definitely made me second-guess myself today with her crafty explanations and reasoning. Sorry you are going through what you are going through, but don't worry, once she's out of your life things will start getting better, and don't let her tempt you, Stand your ground and let her know she can now be with anyone she wants, while you can be with a girl who you want and probably interests you. I hope so. I can't even fathom dealing with the logistics of this. We have a bunch of assets tied up together. But that is why I hired professional help. Right now, I am just trying to grieve that 1/3 of my life with this person may be coming to an abrupt end. Ending the pain is way better than to live with it, is it not? It is. I couldn't live with myself if I let her walk all over me again. I deserve better. I'm very sorry you had to go through this. It's not your fault and never will be. She's 100% at fault here. I'm on the boat that says, I can only entertain the idea of reconciliation if the cheater tells the victim on the same day or the following of the cheating. Even one extra day he or she waited before confessing, means the cheater has zero respect for the victim. My bets is on that. The cheating was about to be found out and she had to chime you in before it happened. Probably she left AP1, original AP, and was fearing AP1 or his/her friends going to tell you. And in all honesty, the open marriage should have been resolved with a divorce. I can't get my mind off people agreeing to such a sham agreement, after they're already married. It's almost always a ticket to cheat with no guilt, or, in this case, to lessen the blow of a previous cheating plus more future cheating, or at the least a telling the marriage is over. One thing for sure is this, the trickle truth will be constant. Everything is a lie. Now, that is actually how I see our open relationship. Justification for her prior actions. At the time, I did not see it that way. I actually believed we could do it, we were in such a great spot, or so I thought. Hindsight is 20/20. Keep with your thinking. You are absolutely right that her cheating is 100% her fault. You're ahead of many in your position, just by realizing it. Thank you. I refuse to take blame for any of this crap. I have worked way too hard and been 100% honest, faithful, and good to her. None of this is my fault no matter my flaws, and we are all flawed. Now for the last story. My pregnant friend is cheating on her deployed husband. So, my husband is in the military so therefore, so are all of our friends. We have a mutual friend, a 24 female. A few months ago, her husband, and got deployed. About 3 weeks before he left, A got pregnant. It was planned. We've been spending a lot of time with her to keep her busy, because as anyone can imagine, it's hard when your spouse is gone for months. The other night, A and I went out for ice cream. She asked if I was coming back to her house after. I said probably not to stay, because I had a lot to get done at home. Her response was, okay good because I have a buddy coming over. Instantly my stomach dropped, because I knew what she meant. I said, what kind of buddy? To which she replied, you already know. Plus, it's not like I can get pregnant. The way she said it, was kind of like she was ashamed? But also, she's the one doing it, so I don't understand. My husband knew A and N for a few months before I did, because he worked with both of them. I never got to meet N before he left, but I've talked to him while I FaceTimed him etc. N is known to be a great guy and he cares for A so much. When my husband first met A, she made a comment about cheating on her husband and justified it as, well, I don't know if he does it too. Even though it's obvious that's how she tried to justify it to herself. I feel really bad for N, he has no idea this is going on. I know every deployed spouse worries about being cheated on and the spouse worries the same. A is an amazing friend. Truly amazing. She's helped us so much and is always here for us. I just feel so guilty about what I know. I wish she never told me. My husband was talking to one of his co-workers and said, hey so A told my wife something that I think is weird, and instantly the co-worker said, that she's cheating on N? Yeah, she told me, and this co-worker and A aren't even that close. She parades it around. I think it's gross. My main question here is what do I do? I can't tell him because she's my friend and I'm not close with N. I also don't think it's my place to do that. She's been a great friend and I'm wondering if I need to ignore it, because her actions to N aren't her actions to me. Every time we talk now, I think about how much N would be hurt if he knew what was going on. I know she's been great in our friendship but this is making me think she's a crappy person, even though she's never done anything else wrong or bad that I know of. Now for the top advice. If she's telling so many people randomly without thought, it will get back to him through other channels. You're in a small, niche community. Just be ready to support him when the obligatory crap hits the fan. Also OP, be sure to tell N. I would want to know. As a woman, I would not want to be friends with someone who is openly disrespectful and unfaithful. The way that she talks about it so nonchalantly makes it seem like she could potentially be okay screwing you over one day. Also, I don't know what branch of the military y'all are in, but I was in the Navy, got out a few years ago. Just know that if all of this comes out, your friend can get in trouble under the UCMJ. Adultery isn't looked upon too favorably in the military, and it can really screw over careers. Army wife here, it's the same way for UCMJ. And on top of that, wives tend to remember the company you keep. So, if you're super close to her and her cheating comes out, which it will, either to him or to other wives, since she won't keep quiet, you will also be linked to it. And when she PCSs or leaves, it'll be a hard time finding other friends. It will be more humiliating for him when he finds out everyone knew and not one friend had his back. This, 1,000 times this. It's bad enough his wife is betraying him, but his friends too? That's just soul-crushing. Former military here. This is the biggest piece of advice I have to give. 1. Record your conversations with A. 2. Speak with the rear command of N's unit, advise them of what is going on and who she is cheating with. 3. Cut contact with A. Here's why. Knowing what is going on will reflect negatively on you and your military spouse. He will look like a dirtbag for not saying crap about this, and bringing the issue up, especially if A is screwing other military dependent spouses to military. The sponsor is responsible for their dependents' actions. If A is military, this is UCMJ articles right there. Save your husband's career and N's career as well. But keep in mind that her spouse found out first and didn't do anything. So why would he now? When my husband first met A, she made a comment about cheating on her husband. And that's it for this video, guys. If you have thoughts to share, leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like this content. Turn the notification on to get updated on my latest posts. I'll catch you in the next one. Good day, everyone.